Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech Dudes. In our previous episode, we learned how to install and configure AWS CLI, right? In today's video, we are going to learn one of the most important AWS service, that is Identity and Access Management, which is commonly known as IAM. So in today's video, we are going to learn what is IAM, why do we need IAM and IAM components, and we'll see hands-on demo and a few best practices. Let's start with IAM. What is IAM? IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Okay, it is a security service provided by AWS that helps us manage users, groups, roles, and permissions. In simple terms, IAM controls who can access AWS resources and what they are allowed to do. Let's say with a simple example, imagine a company with different employees. Okay, so the company name is Tech Dudes. A developer may need access to Amazon S3 and EC2. A database administrator may need access to Amazon RDS. A finance team member may only need billing access. IAM allows us to give each person only the permissions they required. Okay, so let's say we have Tech Dudes and this is our company. In this company, we have several departments. Okay, so developer and database administrator and finance team. Okay, why do we need IAM? Imagine sharing your AWS root account with every employee in a company. Anyone could accidentally delete resources or change important settings. Instead, what we will do is we will create individual IAM users and assign only the permissions required for their job. Okay, this improves security and follows the principle of least privilege, which means user receives only the permissions they actually need. Okay, so let's say if I give AWS root credentials to developer, database administrators, finance team members, other employees, they can do whatever they want. They can accidentally delete resources or change important resources. But the recommended approach is, if we use AWS IAM security service, we can provide only the necessary permissions. Let's say developer department needs only S3 and EC2. Database administrator needs only RDS. Finance team member only needs billing access. So other employees, they may have limited access only, right? So in this way, we can secure our AWS account, right? Without any accidental damages or any extra billings, etc. Okay, so now let's see IAM components. We have four important IAM components, that is, one is IAM user. IAM user is nothing but an individual user. Let's say your company hires 3 employees, Venkat, Rahul, Priya. Each employee receives their own username and password, right? In simply AWS also, an IAM user represents one person or one application that needs access to AWS. Example, Venkat, Rahul, Priya. Okay, instead of everyone using the root account, each person signs in using their own IAM user. Okay, IAM group. IAM group is nothing but a collection of users who need same permissions. So now imagine you have 100 developers. Do you want to assign permissions to each developer one by one? Right? Is it possible to give? Not possible, right? So instead of, what we can do is we can create a department called developers. We can create this developers group, then add all the developers to that department. AWS does exactly the same thing. We create an IAM group, example developer group, and we will assign all the users to developer groups. Now instead of giving permissions to every individual user, we give permissions to the group. Every member active automatically gets the same permissions. Okay. IAM policy. A policy is a JSON document that defines permissions. Now imagine the company has a rule book. Okay. Developer department can deploy applications, can restart servers, but cannot delete production databases. Same, finance department. They can view billing, they can download invoices, but they cannot access EC2. These rules are called policies in AWS. A policy simply defines allow or deny. it specifies what actions a user group can perform. Okay, let's say developer user group is there, so they are allowed to read Amazon S3, EC2 start, EC2 stop. They can do. These are the policies they are allowed to do, but they should not delete the S3 bucket. So we will specify, we will deny. Okay, so how we will deny? In the policy itself. Okay, IAM role. A role is similar to a user, but it intended for AWS services or temporary access rather than a specific person. Okay, IAM role is nothing but temporary identity. This is where many beginners get confused. Imagine a security guard normally can only enter the security office. One day, the manager says, "Today you are helping the finance team." The guard receives a temporary ID card now, for today only. The guard can enter the finance department. Tomorrow, the temporary access expires. That's exactly how an IAM role works. Okay, a role gives temporary permissions. It's commonly used for EC2, Lambda, ECS, other AWS services. Okay, instead of storing username and password, AWS services assume a role whenever they need temporary access. Okay, now it's time for the hands-on demonstration. Let's open AWS Management Console and create an IAM user and a group to understand how IAM works in real time. Okay, now I already logged into my AWS account by using my root account. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create IAM user, right? So for that, we need to go to IAM, or from here you can search IAM. Click on this, and in left menu you can see roles, policies, IAM users, IAM user groups. Okay, so these are the four main components of IAM. For a beginner level, these are the most important. Okay, so remaining going forward, we'll learn what is what. Okay, so first now let's see IAM users. Click on this. Now we have these users. This one I have created for AWS CLI video. Now we'll create a new user. Okay, click on create user. So a user is IAM user is nothing but an employee. Okay, let's say the employee name is Venkat. So Venkat, and we need to provide AWS console access, right? So just click on this. While creating a IAM user, you will have two types of passwords: auto generate or custom. Auto generate means AWS itself create a random password. Custom means we can set our own password. Okay, I kept auto generated and click on next. Here we have add to user group, copy permissions, attach policies directly. Okay, so AWS by default will provide few policies. Okay, let's select from there. Okay, now here I would like to give administrator access for this user. For learning purpose, I am assigning administrator access. In real world projects, we should follow the principle of least privilege and grant only the permissions that are required. Okay, so select this, click on next. Now we can review here. So what is the username is Venkat and password is auto generated, and what policies they have: administrator and IAM user change password. So we are creating, right? So this is the AWS managed default policy for the user. So every user can change their password. Okay, now tags will be helpful for billing, etc. So we'll learn more about in a future, but for now I'll keep purpose. What purpose is demo. Okay, click on create user. So now the user is created. I have copied this password. Okay, now click on view user, continue. So the user is now created. Okay, now let's log in with IAM user. Now I have logged in with the root account user. Now let's log in with IAM user. Click here, sign out, sign in again. Okay, now let's log in with IAM user. Click on IAM user. Okay, now enter account ID. This is my account ID and click on next. Now we need to enter username. So our username is Venkat, right? So Venkat. So this is my password. Click on sign in. So now it is auto generated password, right? So AWS recommends to reset your own password. So enter old password and enter new password. Okay, confirm password change. Now continue to sign in. Okay, so now you see I'm also able to see all resources. So go to AWS. Now you can see I'm able to see all services, right? All applications, all services I can see. Okay, so let's say S3. See, I'm able to access. Why? Because I have given administrator access. Okay, so this is the IAM user. Now let's go to here. Okay, now let's see what is the user group. Okay, so currently we don't have any user groups. So as we discussed, let's say I'll create a developers group. Let's click on create group. So here we should give the user group name. Okay, I'm giving developers, or if you want, you can add the project name also. For example, if you are working on TechDudes projects, let's say you can mention TechDudes developers. Okay, so these developers are TechDudes project developers for your identification. Okay, so now from here we can select users, right? We are creating the group, but we can assign the users also. So for now I am assigning Venkat and TechDudes. This is also old user I have created. Okay, now we should assign permissions for the assigned users, right? So whatever the permissions we select here, these permissions will automatically apply for all these group users. Okay, so currently what I'll select S3, Amazon S3 full access. Okay, now let's say EC2, Amazon EC2 full access. Okay, for now I have attached these two permissions. Just click on create user group. Okay, so now the group is created. Okay, now you understood inside this group how many users are there, who are they, and if we want to remove them, we can remove from this group, but this user will remains. We are removing from this group. For let's say TechDudes project is completed and Venkat is no longer working in the TechDudes, so we can remove. If needed, we can assign also. Okay, so in that way this remove will work, but it will not delete, it will just remove only. Okay, now next thing is policies. Let me take some S3. Okay, so now you can see this is the policy. Okay, this is the rule of this Amazon S3 full read only access. So this is the policy document. These policies are nothing but a rules. Okay, for now just remind that only. So going forward we'll learn more about what is a custom policy, how we can create custom policies, etc. Okay, if required I will create a short video on how to create a role, how to create a policy, how to create a user, etc. Okay, now let's go to roles. So a role is similar to a user, but it is intended for AWS services or temporary access rather than a specific person. Okay, so let's say we took security guard example, right? So same like that. So we can create a role and we can attach that role to the application or service. Okay, so for now I am not creating any user role. We will explore IAM roles in detail in the next episode. So in the roles we'll have assume roles. So what is that role? And executor roles will be there, API gateway roles will be there, EC2 roles will be there. So lot of stuff is there. So we'll learn step by step. In the next video we'll learn more about roles. Okay. That's it guys. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one.